The crystalline spires of the Galactic Tribunal stretched impossibly high above the artificial atmosphere of Station Zerion 7, their surfaces pulsing with the collective consciousness of 1,000 species. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the defendant's podium, her hands steady despite the weight of humanity's fate resting on her shoulders. The tribunal's voice resonated through bio-neural translators, a harmonic blend of clicks, whistles, and electromagnetic pulses that somehow conveyed absolute authority. Species designation human, classification Homo sapiens. You stand accused of violations against the Galactic Concordat of Peaceful Coexistence. Sarah's jaw tightened. 3 months of deliberations, 3 months of presenting evidence, testimonies, and cultural context, all of it leading to this moment. The charges, the tribunal continued, include systematic warfare against your own species, environmental destruction of your homeworld, and the creation of artificial intelligences without proper safeguards. Most damning, your species' tendency toward violence and territorial expansion poses an existential threat to galactic stability. The prosecution's evidence hovered in holographic displays around the chamber. Wars throughout human history flickered like malevolent stars. Rome's conquests, the Mongol invasions, 2 world wars, countless smaller conflicts. Smokestacks belched poison into Earth's atmosphere. Nuclear weapons detonated in test after test. The defendant may present final arguments, the tribunal announced. Sarah stepped forward, her voice carrying across the vast chamber without amplification. Honorable Tribunal, yes, humanity has fought. Yes, we have made mistakes. But you judge us by our failures while ignoring our greatest triumphs. She gestured, and new holograms materialized. Humans pulling survivors from earthquake rubble. Doctors treating patients during plagues. Scientists working together across national boundaries. You see war, but ignore that we developed international law to prevent it. You see pollution, but ignore that we recognized our mistake and began reversing it. You see artificial intelligence as reckless, but ignore that we debate ethics at every step. The alien judges remained impassive. Sarah continued, your own species achieved peace. Through homogeneity, through genetic manipulation, through hive minds. We achieved it through choice, through struggle, through individuals deciding to be better than their nature. Your arguments are noted, the tribunal replied coldly. However, the statistical projections are clear. Humanity's expansion into the galaxy carries a 73.6% probability of destabilizing existing peace structures. This is unacceptable. The verdict came swiftly. Humanity is found guilty of charges presented. The sentence is immediate quarantine to your home system with enforced technological regression to pre-spaceflight capabilities. This decision is final and non-negotiable. Sarah felt something cold settle in her chest. You're condemning 4 billion people to planetary imprisonment for crimes they haven't committed yet. It is the logical solution, the tribunal stated. This session is concluded. The transmission reached Earth 18 hours later, traveling through quantum entanglement communicators that would soon be dismantled by tribunal enforcement fleets. President Martinez convened an emergency session of the Global Council while Fleet Admiral Reyes prepared humanity's scattered naval forces for what everyone knew was coming. They want to put us in a cage, Martinez said, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. They want to decide our future based on their fears of what we might become. The debate that followed was fierce but brief. The old divisions between nations seemed suddenly petty in the face of species-wide extinction of freedom. The vote was unanimous. 3 days later, Sarah Chen stood once again before the Galactic Tribunal. but this time she wore the uniform of the United Earth, Federation rather than diplomatic robes. Behind her, holographic feeds showed the mobilization of every human ship, station, and military installation. The Galactic Tribunal's verdict has been received and reviewed, she announced formally. Humanity's response is as follows. We declare the Tribunal's authority over our species null and void. We reject your quarantine. We reject your fear-based judgment. And we declare that any attempt to enforce this sentence will be met with total war. The chamber erupted in alien voices expressing shock, outrage, and disbelief. Sarah continued, speaking over the cacophony. You made one critical error in your calculations, Honorable Tribunal. You judged us by our capacity for destruction without understanding our capacity for growth. You feared our violence without comprehending our love. You saw our wars but missed our peace. She activated another hologram, the construction timeline, of humanity's newest ships, vessels designed not for conquest, but for exploration and defense. We've spent the last month retrofitting every craft in our fleet. Your enforcement ships will find us ready. This is unprecedented. The Tribunal's voice cracked with harmonic distortion. No species has ever defied our judgment. Then let this be the first precedent, Sarah replied. We are not asking for war, but we are prepared for it. We are not seeking to destroy your peace, but we will not be imprisoned for the crime of being human. She turned to leave, then paused. You speak of statistical projections and logical solutions. Here's a human concept for you to consider. Sometimes the most logical choice is to stand up to a bully, regardless of the odds. The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, alien species watched in fascination and horror as humanity began moving its pieces across the cosmic chessboard. For the first time in galactic history, someone had told the Tribunal no. Fleet Admiral Reyes, monitoring from Earth's command center, spoke into his communicator. All ships, this is command. Operation Prometheus is a go. Show them what humanity means when we say freedom or death. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as two philosophies of civilization prepared to collide. One built on the elimination of risk, the other on the courage to face it. The war for humanity's soul was about to begin.